The following program is a public service of Gulf Coast State College, WKGC, and Commodore Productions. And now, the Military Hour with Carrie Dieter.
Welcome to another edition of Military Hour. I have returning friend and guest, Matt Standish, military brother. God bless you, glad you're here. And you got a lot going on all the time, as we've been discussing. But tell us what you got coming up, and this is a major deal here.
Yeah, well, we're having a good time. You know, of course, at the Vet Center, we love what we do and the care that we give to our veterans and our troops to deal with their post-traumatic stress issues from whatever kind of trauma has occurred. But what we've done, well, we haven't done it, but public broadcasting system, specifically WFSU, WFSG, is doing a documentary series coming up starting September 17th. That's all about the Vietnam War. I haven't seen any of it, haven't seen any previews, but what we're doing is we're very concerned about our veterans, especially our Vietnam veterans who might watch the show and maybe start having some flashbacks, some memories, getting some bad feelings again. It could possibly, suffer from that.
Triggers.
And what we want to do is be a resource for them if they need to come talk to somebody.
Right.
And we're going to be there for them.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I know you're there for them, and just for knowledge or people that don't know, anybody comes to the Vet Center, it's not reported to the VA.
Right.
It's
The VA
all
doesn't know
confidential.
Well, what makes us so unique is the Vet Center, we are federal VA, but we are totally separate and disconnected from all the rest of the VA.
Right.
So we're allowed, basically all we do is a counseling service. We call it readjustment counseling. And to be technically eligible, we work with veterans as well as even active duty, National Guard reservists, and family members, really anybody that the veteran of the troop identifies as a family member, even their boyfriends, girlfriends, next door neighbors. We don't care what the relationship is because PTSD doesn't care either.
Yeah.
But to be eligible for our services, technically, because we never turn anybody away. I mean, if they come to us, even if they have no connections to the military, we're going to make sure they're all right.
Wow.
And try to get them somewhere to get the care that they need.
Sure.
But officially eligibility is served in a combat zone somewhere. I mean, anywhere from World War II to right now. Been a victim of military sexual trauma while on active duty. Had something to do with the moving or processing of combat casualties, not necessarily deployed, like your forensics people,
Sure.
your mortuary affairs, even your transportation people that are moving, the bodies, from war, casualties of war.
I didn't know that.
And now, most recently, we're now also authorized to see people involved with drone operations. They're like sitting in a cubicle here in the United States, flying a drone over the Middle East and actually shooting at people and seeing the results of what they're doing. They're allowed to come to the Vet Center for counseling as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know as well as I do, some things seen will never be unseen. I mean, you can't.
Yeah. The advantage that we give is because, there's always been such a bad stigma in the military about getting counseling.
Oh, yeah.
And whether it's valid or not, and I kind of have to say that, but you just end up with all these thousands and thousands of troops and veterans out there who've seen really, really horrible things, but because of the stigma, they won't talk to anybody. So at the Vet Center, we give them a place to go where they can literally, especially the first time they come see us, they can just walk right in the front door. They're going to see a licensed professional counselor who is also probably a veteran themselves. And then most importantly, nobody will ever know that they were there, not even the VA.
Let everybody know where your facility is located also.
Our Vet Center, we are at 3109 Minnesota Avenue, which is actually right behind Haney Technical Center. There's some buildings back there that belong to Tyndall Federal Credit Union, and we're in Suite 101, which is the northwest corner. And we're open basically Monday through Thursday. We're open 7 in the morning till 7 at night, so non-traditional hours.
Yeah.
And Fridays from 7 to 4:30. The first Saturday of every month, we're open from 8:30 until 7 o'clock at night as well. Now, if the veteran or troop comes to us and they can't come at any of those times, we will work it out.
Wow.
We'll make it happen one way or another. And like for the like I said, we love what we do.
Oh, well, yeah.
My Vet Center is 4 Army, 1 Air Force, and 1 Marine. I'm the one Air Force guy, but I'm also the only first sergeant. So in my mind, I outrank everybody.
Yeah,
That's what first sergeants do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay.
And
I get it.
but in fact, even one of my counselors, he used to actually be one of our clients at our vet center, and got his degree and his license, and now he's giving back.
Well, that's
what
fabulous.
He used to get. Yeah,
That
it's
is
really
fabulous
amazing.
in itself.
Really, the only thing we don't do at the vet center is we don't do any medications, and that's because that would leave a paper trail.
Sure.
Now, even our veterans don't have to be in the VA system at all to come see us.
Now that's interesting.
Now, they can be, and we do have some veterans that use the VA mental health clinic where they can see their psychiatrist, maintain their medications, but they may not get seen as often as they need to or want to.
Right.
So some of them will come to the vet center where we can fill in the gaps.
See, now I didn't know that that was an availability. I was thinking if somebody was being seen in the VA system by a psychiatrist or psychologist, and then somebody that's prescribing the meds, I thought that was it. So they can come to the vet
Absolutely.
center. Wow,
Yeah, we can
did not know
supplement,
that.
even just give them a place to come hang out and talk. I mean,
Yeah.
we do groups, we do individuals. In fact, we just had our, we're trying to do some new things. We had a music therapy group that spanned almost like 2.5, 3 months.
I think I heard a guitar,
Yeah,
something about
yeah,
guitar.
It was a guitar group.
How did I miss that? I always wanted to play a guitar.
It was really cool. But we
Do it again, will you?
basically- we partnered up with a group called Guitars for Vets, where basically any client or veteran that signed up and completed all 10 lessons, which were provided by a local musician, and the end point is each person that completed the class gets a free guitar.
I would just like to do the class. I don't.
It was
Not
a
worried
lot of
about
fun.
getting a guitar. But
Well, our greatest story from that was one of the students. He's one of our clients, a Vietnam veteran, who actually taught himself to play the guitar when he was in Vietnam.
Huh.
Okay. Now, when he left Vietnam, hadn't touched a guitar since. 27 years, hadn't touched one.
Wow.
And he took the class and was just picking it up and like he was right back to it.
Good deal.
Really a cool story.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah, we love what we do. It really is amazing. Just to give these troops and veterans, and seeing active duty has been really huge. I mean, just to give them a place to go.
Yeah.
So we love it. Our biggest problem, as usual, is nobody really knows about us.
Yeah.
Because there's no advertising done. It's all word of mouth. So I am the luckiest guy in the VA to actually be paid to run around 11 counties and do nothing but talk.
Yeah, but see right there, you said 11 counties. I mean, goodness
Yeah,
gracious.
6 Florida, 5 Alabama. So I stay pretty busy.
2 states.
Yeah, 2 states.
Dude,
But we love it.
I know you do. You're running pillar to post and Kendall can't. I get it.
It's
I understand.
a great time. But with this broadcast coming up, starting September 17th, and it's going to be on all the public TV stations. It's just called The Vietnam War, and if I remember correctly, Ken
Burns.
and Lynn Novak, they're telling the story of the Vietnam War, what it says as it has never been seen or told on film before, with a lot of testimonies from about 80 witnesses, some Americans, some Vietnamese. On it looks like it's going to be people on both sides, but 10 individual episodes. The first 5 are going to start the 17th through the 21st. Then the second 5 is the 24th through I think the 30th or so. And what we're concerned about as the vet center is, seeing the footage and the testimonies. Some of our
Yeah.
Vietnam vets could have problems with that.
Sure.
Whether it's, bringing back memories that they've kind of, put away for a while. Start having thoughts of, hopefully no thoughts of hurting themselves or hurting somebody else.
Right.
And at the vet center, that's what we deal with is post-traumatic stress,
Sure.
from whether it's combat or sexual trauma. So what we are doing is we're going to make sure that during the broadcast, which I believe it starts at 7 o'clock each night, some episodes are an hour and a half, some are 2 hours, but we're going to make sure our vet center is open during the broadcast. And probably for at least an hour afterwards with a counselor there on the property. We'll even be showing it if anybody wants to come by and watch it with us. And just to make sure that if anybody has a bad reaction, they can come see us, have someone to talk to, and we just want to make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
That this doesn't trigger any too too serious of thoughts.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope that it all, pans out and works well for everyone. My own thought process in that thing is maybe okay, maybe not.
Right.
But in any event, it's there, and the best part of it is that you're there, and your counselors are there, and it is available.
Right.
The help is there. So, and I can't advocate enough for people, if you need the help, get the help. And especially because it's confidential.
Super confidential.
Yeah, nothing gets reported to the VA.
Right.
So you're not going to lose any of your compensation if you're being compensated or
Right.
whatever,
Yeah,
Because I think that's a big fear for
Yes.
a lot of veterans.
And the only time we would share our records with the VA is if the veteran asks us to.
Yeah.
They do a release of information.
Sure.
And then we can provide our records,
Yeah.
to them and to their VA doctor or
Yeah.
whoever. And sometimes it's to support a claim, for PTSD, and we can do that.
Yeah.
Other than that, nobody has access to our stuff. So it's really brilliant.
Good deal.
We also want to make sure that all the veterans out there, veterans, active duty, everybody is aware of the crisis lines that are available.
Yeah.
Because first one, everybody's heard of the veteran crisis line. It's 1-800-273-8255, 273-TALK. That's actually a national crisis line that is, if you call it, press 1, then you're going to talk to somebody in the military. Veterans, somebody who knows how to talk to other military folks.
Right.
So we want to make sure people are aware of that line. Again, 1-800-273-8255, and then press 1. That's for our military folks. At the Vet Center, we also have our own line that we call our call center, our Vet Center call center, which is 877-WAR-VETS. And I forget exactly how that turns out in numbers. I think it's 927.
I'm not good at that, Matt. I apologize.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, no, the numbers I'm okay with. The using words for that is I'm not good with.
Like 9377 or 93 something. Anyway, 877-WAR-VETS. That's our call center just for the Vet Center. And in fact,
Here locally.
Zoom in. This is where we are.
Maybe we can get a zoom on that.
That's got our address,
Apollo, there
our
you
phone
go. Good
number,
job.
our website, and then 877-WAR-VETS right at the bottom. It's available for anybody to call anytime. It serves as a call center, so they can refer.
So it's
people.
24-hour
Yep,
call
24.
center.
They can-
Fabulous.
They can refer people to where the nearest vet center is. They can also do crisis counseling. They work with family members as well if family members need to call and talk. So there's so much available. And worst case scenario, I mean, if you know anybody and you see they're having a hard time, anybody out there, you see they're having a really tough time, maybe having thoughts of hurting themselves or maybe hurting somebody else, 911.
Oh.
And don't be afraid to do
Yeah.
it. And don't be afraid to ask them, okay? That's one thing you hear people they think, well, if I ask somebody if they're thinking about hurting themselves, am I going to cause them to do it? No. They're either thinking about it already or they're not.
Exactly.
So you
Yeah.
never want to, in fact, that was one of the first lessons they taught me as a first sergeant.
Yep.
You ask the question, are you thinking about killing yourself? And then if you get any other answer than a flat out firm no, alarm bells, get
Yeah.
them somewhere.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's all about, taking care of each other, making sure, because there's
Right.
way too many suicides happening now.
Well, yeah, and that's where I was going to go because somewhere in the neighborhood of 22 to 23 a day, I think 22 has already been established as the number. One is one too many.
Right.
But it's a heartbreaking that's occurring every day with our servicemen and women.
Yeah, and knowing that the help is there.
Yeah.
That's why getting the word out and let people know that the help is there available
Yeah.
for them is so important.
And cliche, I don't like to sound like I use cliches, but life with all its problems is still worth living.
Yes.
There's a man I respect a great deal, and you know him. A lot of people call him GOAT. And I heard him make this comment one time, and I've never forgotten it. It stuck. And simplistic maybe, but it's very deep if you think about it. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Absolutely.
And GOAT, I can't thank him enough for saying that.
That's a good one. I like that.
Oh yeah, because that's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It is a permanent solution to a temporary problem, because the temporary problem can be solved.
Yes.
So, and life is definitely worth living.
Anyway, I'm not here to really promote the documentary, but I would, if anybody wants to watch, I'm sure it's going to be good.
For what it's worth, anybody that's watching and listening, Ken Burns, if you've ever seen any of his documentaries, he has a cadre of personnel that are specialists in every field, whether it's the audio or whatever it may be, the artistic compositions. Ken Burns is the best that I've ever seen. I love documentaries.
Yeah.
And when I heard that he was involved in this thing, I'm thinking, this is going to be one more good production. I may watch the entire series, I may not, we'll see. That's all I can say, at this point, is we'll see. But I think it's well worth seeing. And what piqued my interest was that both sides are going to be explored, and witnesses and participants from both sides of the conflict will be on there. And we're going to say hello to Lola.
We got to get Lola on the camera.
Yeah, can we get Lola a shot and look at Lola?
This is Lola Jean. She's not an official therapy dog, but she's mine. So
I understand that.
she's a good girl.
She
We rescued
is a
her
sweetheart.
rescued her about 4.5 years ago. So.
Yeah. You
And
camera
she says,
shy?
put me back down on the floor. I don't like to be up.
What's the matter? Oh, you camera shy?
She's a good dog.
All right, well, I love critters, so probably more than people, but I shouldn't say that, but in any event. That's going to do us for today. Matt, thank you again for coming out. Thanks for sharing.
Awesome,
always.
brother.
Hope you and the General stay safe. And
Yeah, we'll be
Lola-
at Harley Davidson this weekend. So.
Well, I won't. We're jettisoning out of here again for a month.
Yeah, anybody wants to come by and say hi.
Yep. Go out to Harley and check them out. Thanks.